Sarah Lobegeiger de Rodriguez, and I'm the Chief Speech Pathologist at VOICELESS, Melbourne's premier accent reduction and communication centre located on Collins Street in the Melbourne CBD. Today, I want to go into the next step for creating a clear S sound. This sound is one of the most common sounds of English in terms of the consonants, and there are so many different contexts where we need to release it. Today, we will look at how to release a S followed by a T to increase clarity. If you remember the first video that I've made about this sound, you will note that if the tongue placement is incorrect, a lisp can result. So before we start going into a bit of a drill, let's just do a quick refresher on this sound. S for English is very strong. I activate my abdominal diaphragmatic muscles so that I can release a strong, fast-flowing velocity of air pressure. My tongue is concealed completely by either my bottom teeth or my top teeth, depending on which way I position the tip. To achieve a clear S sound for most languages of the world, it is important that the tongue is completely concealed and either buried at the base of the mouth or pushed to the vault of the mouth at the very top behind the top teeth. If any little gaps are received where the tongue comes out the sides, like we'll get quite a lot of distortion, which lies outside the standard English speech patterns. Now, let's look at the sound that we want to combine S with, the T sound. Fortunately, T is also voiceless, so that makes it much easier for us to coordinate the sounds with our voice. The T sound is short. It must explode. And in order to create it so that it resembles distinct English qualities, we want to elevate the tongue behind the teeth, but don't let the tip of it touch the back of the front teeth. So most European and Oriental T sounds are released with a soft air pressure, and this is achieved by letting the tip of the tongue contact the rear of my top teeth. The, and in many instances, the voice will vibrate slightly. The English T is very distinct from this sound. Have a listen. Here is my target. T. Here would be an error. The. At a word level, we would hear time as the target versus thime as an error or variation. When we coordinate S with T, we have one core consideration to think of, and that is maximal velocity of airflow and pressure. This is a very distinct sound for English, and it must explode with strong force. Given that the T sound is formed behind the back of the top front teeth, I would highly recommend that your S sound co-articulates to that position as well. So you want to start with an elevated tongue position. Many speakers will typically place the tongue at the base of the mouth to form S. But if you've got to carry it upwards for the T, that can create a lot more work for you. And hey, communication needs to be quick, efficient and fun. So lift the tip of the tongue behind the top front teeth. S, release a duration of airflow. S, at strong pressure. Now, let's try the T sound. Elevate the tongue tip. Ensure it doesn't touch the back of the front teeth. T, and pop the air. You might want to place your hand in front of your mouth so that you can feel that you're building up enough pressure. T, t. Okay, let's now connect the sounds. So first we'll sustain S with lots of airflow. S. Then insert the T. T. You might have a little segment at first just to make sure that you get an accurate T and an accurate S. It's good to take a little pause in the middle. S, t. Repeat after me. S, t. S, t. Now let's try and create a link. S, t. S, t. S, feel the most air pressure at the tongue? Yeah, you might have guessed correctly. It's actually on the T sound. The T sound is what we call a plosive, so it explodes. S just sort of releases with a high velocity and high volume of air, but we won't feel the pressure until we release it for the T. St. The ST combination occurs in a lot of contexts. We can get it at the front of the word, the middle, or the end. Today, because we're just getting started, why don't we do it at the front? I've tried to select words that occur often. Start, stay, 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 stop, stop, study, study, student, student. That one will take more time. Student, station, station. If you're struggling, why not insert the sound combination on its own at the front? St, and then insert the word. St, statistics. That one's tough. That's just to motivate you, so I think you can see practice might be needed. Studio, stereo. And finally, one of my favourite things, actually I think this is a bit of a speech pathologist thing, stationary, stationary. I hope you found this video interesting. If it was a challenge, why not go back and review how to create this sound on its own? I'll add the link below. You might also want to check out the voicing video to learn how to really accurately ensure that your T, especially at the front of the words, contains no vocal vibration. Otherwise, be sure to follow us on all our social media accounts. We have Instagram and Facebook, and of course, hopefully you've subscribed to the channel already. My name is Lobegeiger de Rodriguez, Chief Speech Pathologist at Voice Science. Have a great day. Ciao.